Hi guys, back here with another video. This is a review of my latest belt, the WWF Stone Cold Steve Austin Smoking Skull belt. This is the nickel version made by Altair Belts, LNRs. This is standard definition SD plates, but they are very detailed. This was one of the first ever custom belts in wrestling, before the spinner and the rated R spinner and the Miz's version, and before the Jeff Hardy Immortal belt, all of those custom world titles. This was the first ever custom belt as far as I know, and it just looks amazing. A lot of people have the gold version. I do like the gold version, it looks really good, but I also think the silver version looks better, and I always thought the silver version should have been used on TV because Steve Austin had silver accent pieces on his ring jacket and everything. Everything on his ring gear was silver, so I think the silver one would have looked better on TV. But obviously gold looks more prestigious. This was made by Joe Marshall, when Steve Austin was WWF champion. He had the big eagle, but the big eagle injured him when he gave Vince McMahon the stunner, and then he was told to get himself a custom belt by, I think it was Hawk, I'm not sure, or it was Road Dogg, it was one of those guys, and he got himself a custom belt, and this was it. He had two versions made. If you Google J Mar Smoking Skull, you can see Steve Austin standing next to Joe Marshall. They both have the silver and the gold version. Steve Austin kept the silver version for himself, and he used the gold version on TV. He got it made behind Vince McMahon's back, so nobody knew he had a new belt. So Vince took it off TV, but the fan reaction was so good for the belt that they brought it back on TV, and they turned it into an angle where Vince took the belt and kept it in one of his homes, and then Steve Austin tried to get it back. So that's just a little bit of the history of this belt. Let's start on this side. The strap is a bit stiff still, as it just arrived this morning. So Altair Belts stamp, really nice leather work, nice beveling. Jamar, when he first started making his belts, his snap boxes were mainly plain, and then in the later years he started doing his own tooling. So this snap box is plain with the beveled edges. So first plate is the WWF logo plate with 1998 Jamar. There you can see the WWF logo. It's a bit difficult to see because it's not red. Some versions do have red, but I believe the TV version had a plain logo. Really nice etching. It's got a good amount of depth to it, but to be honest, it's not really about the depth, it's how clean it is. It's very clean for SD etching, which is very hard to do. 4mm zinc, quite very solid. So here is the border tooling. This is like the Midwest tooling, similar to what the Winged Eagle and the IC had. And then later Jamar started using his own shell tooling, where the tooling would go all across here, and there would be no border here, it would just be straight like this. You can see on the example of the big gold, the 3D big gold, and the later belts that he made. Really nice shell tooling, nice beveled lines, very clean. This does have the tighter leather cut, which I really like. I'm not a fan of wide leather cuts. Same here. Same plain snap box. It does have like a textured look. I'm not sure if that's the natural look of the leather. I think it is. Yep. Definitely plain. I thought it had a bit of a textured look. But it does look really nice. Very minimalist, but it definitely works. Nice sealed edges. I've always heard that edges are hard to seal on vinyl and croc backings and non-leather backings, but this is definitely sealed and it's very nicely done. I'll show you the back in a minute. So here I just love the nickel, the WWF logo with the broken glass, and then it says Attitude. For me, Steve Austin was definitely the guy that started the Attitude Era when he stunned Vince McMahon. It's a really nice red. It looks darker in person and it looks a bit lighter on camera. So if you have it underneath the spotlight or underneath a flash, it really looks really good. I'll see if I can show you guys that in a minute. This is one of my favourite plates. The skull with the WWF logo. And then it's got the snakes wrapping around the skull. Some makers, they put 2 heads on the snake, which is inaccurate. It's 1 head and then the other part is the tail. And then it's got the WWF logo. And I think this is barbed wire around the skull. Looks really good. Again, really thick, heavy duty plates. This does have a good amount of weight to it. I think it's probably about £6. It is a bit of a fingerprint magnet because it's very shiny and you can get fingerprints on it sometimes. Nice red logo, really nice paintwork. So it's a bit of a gloss paint, so the red is more like a glossy red and then the black paint is more like a matte paint. But it definitely works. There you can see more barbed wire, similar to what the ECW belt had. This is the same shape of the WWF Women's Championship, the main plate, but it's just a bit more bulkier. And here's my favourite part, the snakes. Me, I'm not a big fan of snakes, I hate them, but they look cool on this belt. And some people make the mistake of painting them, which is fine, personal preference, but the real ones were unpainted and the etching catches the light really well. And that's the tail of the snake. You can see the banner. See, it's more like a matte paint, it's not glossy or reflective, which actually works quite well. A nice barbed wire fence, similar to what the ECW tag team belts had, and there you can see the depth of the etching, and it's very clean. There's no jagged lines on the squared part of the fence. You can tell that they're proper squares. Very nice etching. More barbed wire. You can see the heavyweight champion. Pretty good depth to the etching. Again, it's not how deep it is, it's how clean it is. Sometimes you might find a belt which is deeper etched, but it might not be as clean. And then the main focus, the Smoking Skull. It's got the black eyes with the cross, the nose, and the crazy teeth. It's got a good amount of depth. And then it's got the smoke coming up, which is grey. It really does look cool, it really does. I've never seen grey paint on any of the belts that I've had, as far as I know, so this looks pretty good. Again, these plates are exact copy of these ones, so I'll save the time and I don't have to show them again. Now let's go to the back. Nice snakeskin backing. I think this is vinyl. It's not rough, it's very smooth. Got a nice texture. All the bolts covered. And here you can see the sealed edges. I just got this a couple of hours ago, so not too bad. Needs to be broken in a little bit. If you guys used to watch Stone Cold, you know that he would throw the belts down the ramp and then run down the ramp and then pick them up. So his belts were literally like paper. You could fold them and they would stay in one position. You could stack them on top of each other like this, because he used to treat his belts really rough. But this belt, it just looks really cool. It's got like a rugged look to it. It's got like a badass type of look and feel. So there, that's a good shot of the red. The red really pops against the nickel, and the grey smoke looks really good as well. So now what I'll do, I'll put it around the waist and the shoulder, and then I will give you guys my final thoughts. This is how it looks on the waist. Normally I don't wear a jacket while I'm wearing a belt, but it's quite cold, so I'm wearing a hoodie. But even though if you're wearing a jacket, it does fit really well. It's got a nice curve, and it's not a big belt. It's not as big as the Big Gold or the Undisputed or anything. I'd say it's probably the size of probably a bit bigger than the WWE spinner in terms of the center plate, but it does look really good. So now I'll show you the belt on the shoulder. This is how it looks on the shoulder. Again, it's a good size. I'm 5'5", so it doesn't look too big on me, which is good. And I just can't stop looking at the nickel plating. I've had one nickel belt before, which was the WWE Raw Tag Team, and that looked really good. but that was just pure nickel. This one has red paint on the logos and black paint as well. It just really makes it stand out. So the backing is pretty good. It is a bit slippery. Leather is a bit more, it kind of sticks to your clothing, but the vinyl is a bit more slippery. So if I let go, it's gonna slide off my shoulder. But the strap is very flexible. So that's the belt on the shoulder. I'll show you guys the curve and then I'll give you my final thoughts. And that will be the end of this video. Okay, so this is the curve on the belt. It's got a decent curve. I can fit my hand underneath it nearly about halfway, maybe 3/4. But it's not an overly big center plate. Actually, I would probably put this size against the Big Eagle, and I will be doing a comparison of the size hopefully in the next coming weeks, which is a hint of a new belt day coming as well. I'm not sure if the side plates are curved. Very, very slightly. Very, very slight curve on the side plates, you can't even tell. So that's how the belt looks flat. Again, 4mm plates, very heavy duty, very nicely made. So guys, my final thoughts on this belt. I absolutely love it. It's a rugged look, it's more like a badass type of look. I think this belt could have suited The Undertaker at the time because he had the whole Grim Reaper gimmick and everything, and it would have suited his biker gimmick, I think. Maybe with a couple of tweaks to make it his, like different logos and stuff. But the nickel definitely works. It's definitely one of the best custom belts ever made in my opinion. And I think if you want this belt, definitely get it. I know that most people go for the gold version, but if you're on the fence about getting a nickel version, don't be, because the nickel looks amazing. So my final thoughts. Altair did a really, really good job on this belt. His leather is amazing. Some of the best leather I've held. And really nice sealed edges, really nice paint on the leather, really smooth leather, very flexible as well. Obviously I'm going to break it in a bit more. And his quality is amazing. For my money, I'd say Altair's the best SD plates overseas, but that's just my opinion. A really nice belt. If you guys haven't got this belt, definitely get one. And if you want a change of scenery, definitely consider the nickel version. It just looks absolutely amazing. Not that the gold doesn't, but the nickel, it just has its own look. So guys, that's it for this review. I tried to keep it as short as possible because my old videos have gone over 30 minutes and I know that it can be hard to watch sometimes, as you might not want to watch 30-minute videos, so I did try to keep this as short as possible. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, leave a like, leave a comment, share this video with your friends and with people that like belts. Leave a like, that really helps the channel. Please comment, let me know what you think of this belt. Would you buy it? Would you not buy it? Do you prefer the nickel version or do you prefer the standard gold? And There is a lot more videos coming from me in the next coming weeks and months, so please subscribe for those videos, and as always, thanks for watching.